Nepal's population has crossed 29 million mark as the government released the full report of the 12th national census today. The average annual growth rate has, however, gone down to 0.92%, which has concerned many as the country is in need of more working-age population. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Population of Nepal reaches 29,164,000, a total of 2.2 million Nepalese living abroad, 51% of the population still using firewood for cooking. Bagmati Chief Minister Shalikram Tamrakar receives vote of confidence for the second time. Maoist Centre withdraws support in Gandhi, Nepali Congress preparing to lead Lumbini government. India's parliament disqualifies senior opposition leader Rahul Gandhi a day after he was sentenced to 2 years in prison in a defamation case. And France play the Netherlands in their opening Euro 2024 qualifier tonight. The two European giants vying for the top spot in Group B of the tournament. Nepal's population has reached 29,164,578 based on the 12th National Census report that was released earlier today. The report was released by Prime Minister Rahul at an event in the capital. The report states of notable improvements in the social and economic indicators of the country. The average annual population growth rate for the past decade at 0.92%, however, has been reported as the lowest in 8 decades. The growth rate from the previous census was 1.35%. Prime Minister Rahul expressed concerns in the lowering growth rate, saying that the country had yet to develop and needed more working population. Between Nepalese year 2068 and 78, Nepal's population went up by 2,670,074. The population density has reached 198 per square kilometer. The report states migration has been focused in urban areas and Tarai region. Kathmandu has the highest population density with 5,169 per square kilometer, while Manang district in Gandhi province has the lowest density at 3 persons per square kilometer. 66.17% of the total population live in urban areas. Around 2.2 million Nepali citizens are living abroad, which a decade back was 1.9 million. The literacy rate has reached 76%, with the male literacy rate standing at 83.6% and females rate at 69.4%. The number of women-led households have gone up by 6%. 92.2% families have access to electricity, which a decade back was 67.3%. Likewise, 73.15% families have access to mobile phones. 49.37% have television access and 37.72% have internet access. 4.5% of the population still lack access to toilet facilities. In the last census, the percentage was 38.2%. Likewise, 51% of the families still use firewoods for cooking, 44.3% use liquid petroleum gas, and 0.5% use electric options for cooking. Now, Additional Inspector General of Police Basant Kaur has been promoted to the position of Inspector General of Nepal Police. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held earlier today has appointed Kaur as the IGP after the retirement of Dheeraj Pratap Singh, who completed his 30-year service in Nepal Police. Prior to this, Kaur, alongside Tek Prasad Rai, Deepak Thapa, Shyamlal Gewali and Kiran Bajracharya had been promoted as the AIGs on Wednesday. Bagmati Chief Minister Shalikram Tamrakar has received the vote of confidence for the second time. Of the 91 members attending today's meeting of the Provincial Assembly, 67 of them extended their trust vote to Chief Minister Tamrakar. Members of Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Centre, CPN Unified Socialist and Hamro Nepali Party extended their vote of confidence to Chief Minister Tamrakar. A total of 17 members did not extend the vote of confidence, 7 remained neutral, while 19 did not attend the meeting. Meanwhile, CPN UML has quit the Bagmati province government, while Rashtra Prajatantra Party has done so on 25th of February. Appointed the Chief Minister with the support of 70 Provincial Assembly members on 9th of January, Tamrakar had first received the vote of confidence on 17th. Back then, of the 110 Provincial Assembly members, 105 had extended their trust vote. CPN Maoist Centre has withdrawn its support in the Gandhi province government and withdrawn its support to the government. Following the directive of party chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal, CPN Maoist Centre Parliamentary Party meeting of the province has quit the government and withdrawn its support. CPN Maoist Centre's Hari Bahadur Chuman was the province minister for physical infrastructure, while Resam Jugjali was the minister for industries, tourism and environment. Following the withdrawal of support of CPN Maoist Centre to the province government, Nepali Congress has begun discussions to form the new government under its leadership. And moving on, Nepali Congress has decided to form the Lumbini province government under its leadership. The Lumbini province meeting of Nepali Congress held today has decided to lead the province government and has urged CPN Maoist Centre, among other parties, to quit the current government led by CPN Yemal. According to Lumbini Parliamentary Party leader of Nepali Congress, Dilip Bahadur Chaudhary, it was natural for Nepali Congress to decide on leading the new government, as CPN Maoist Centre had led the government before the election with the support of Nepali Congress. Meanwhile, CPN Maoist Centre is also making efforts to form the province government under its own leadership. Of the total 87 members of the Provincial Assembly, Nepali Congress has 27. Senior CPN Unified Socialist leader Jhalanath Khanal has warned of not joining the government if the party is not shown adequate respect during expansion of the Council of Ministers and the upcoming by-elections of the lower house. Khanal, who reached Pathar for party-related works, has said that CPN Unified Socialists should be allocated at least 3 ministerial portfolios and 1 seat for the upcoming by-election. He further went on to add that the government had to form a common program to remain in power for the period of 5 years and suggested for preparation of the same before the share of ministries. Now, victims of loan sharks who had left for Kathmandu from Mahottari have declined the request of Makwanpur Chief District Officer to return to their district. Victims of loan sharks who had left on foot from Bardibas 8 days ago to share their grievances with the government have reached Bhimfedi of Makwanpur. Such victims from Chhapa, Saptari, Siraha, Dhanusha, Mahottari, Sarlahi and Kailali gathered in Mahottari before leaving for Kathmandu on foot. Declining the request of Makwanpur CDO, the victims have headed towards Kathmandu through Deurali of Bhimfedi. The group of 72 victims have marched on foot, facing adverse weather conditions and cooking on their way. They have said that they will meet the Prime Minister at Singadarwar and seek justice, which they say has been denied by the district administration offices and courts. Senior media person Krishna Tamrakar has passed away at the age of 86 years. Former news editor and anchor of Radio Nepal, Tamrakar passed away last night. She was undergoing treatment for pneumonia. Tamrakar had joined Radio Nepal on the 6th of June 1991 and had served until 3 decades ago. She was awarded with the Global 500 Roll of Honor by the United Nations Environment Programme in the year 1989 for her Vatavaran program. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what do you term the government decision to provide compensations for ineligible members of the People's Liberation Army? Your options are A, commitment towards the peace accord, B, self-serving decision, and C, relief for the victims. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to the international update. India's parliament has disqualified senior opposition leader Rahul Gandhi a day after he was sentenced to 2 years in prison in a defamation case. A parliament notice said that Gandhi stands disqualified from the membership of Lok Sabha, alluding to the lower house of the parliament. He was convicted by the court for 2019 comments about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surname at an election rally. Gandhi was a Congress party MP from Wayanad in the state of Kerala. He remains on bail for 30 days and has said he will appeal the verdict given by a court in Gujarat. Gandhi's party had termed the verdict erroneous and unsustainable and pledged to fight the disqualification both legally and politically. On Friday, the Congress led opposition leaders in a protest march in the capital, Delhi. Visuals showed heavy security in the Vijay Chowk area outside the parliament as the opposition leaders stepped out carrying a large banner that read "Democracy in Danger." TV channels reported that a few lawmakers were detained as security personnel stopped them from leaving the area. Moving on, US President Joe Biden is in Canada for a two-day visit in which he is expected to discuss migration, security and energy with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. On the eve of the meeting, a US official and a Canadian government sources said the US and Canada reached a deal aimed at stopping asylum seekers from entering the shared land border via unofficial crossings, though some details still need to be ironed out when the two sides meet. The revised Safe Third Country Agreement will be discussed today at an official face-to-face between US President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau in Ottawa, with the announcement likely afterward. The two leaders and their wives met privately at Trudeau's residence shortly after Biden and First Lady Jill Biden had landed. Dozens of people, including students, have been injured today in Hong Kong after 4 large buses collided with a truck in a district in northeast of the financial hub. Broadcaster TVF said nearly 100 people were injured, half of them students. Television footage showed students in school uniform being led away from the site and the injured being treated by first aid officers. Police have said they were investigating the incident but could not immediately give further details. Elsewhere, hundreds of people gathered early morning today dressed in bright fluorescent colors and joined hands along Sydney's Bondi Beach to raise awareness for mental health. A non-profit surf community helping to raise mental health awareness celebrated their 10th anniversary today with more than 800 people on the beach. The fluorescent colors, campaigners say, is to make mental health more visible and help start conversations about an invisible issue. Few of the campaigners who struggled with bipolar disorder and spent time in a mental health facility turned to surfing for happiness, which culminated into the campaign that has been taking place now in more than 200 beaches across more than 50 countries. The European Union has shared of plans to create a new vehicle category, cars that run on carbon-neutral e-fuels. The proposal is part of the EU's effort to resolve a spat with Germany over moves to phase out combustion engine cars. The new plan would allow sales of new cars with internal combustion engines after 2035 if they run only on climate-neutral e-fuels. E-fuels like e-kerosene, e-methane or e-methanol are produced using renewable electricity from hydrogen and captured carbon dioxide emissions. The fuels release CO2 into the atmosphere when used in an engine, but the idea is that those emissions are equal to the amount taken out to the atmosphere, in fact, to produce the fuel. That makes them CO2 neutral overall. The technology is at an early stage of development and e-fuels are not yet produced at scale. Most major car makers are betting on battery electric vehicles, a technology that is already widely available. But suppliers and oil majors defend e-fuels as well as a number of car makers who don't want the vehicles weighed down by heavy batteries. The world's first commercial plant opened in Chile in 2021, backed by Porsche. BMW has invested $12.5 million in e-fuel startup while also investing billions in battery electric technology. Supporters say e-fuels offer a route to cut the CO2 emissions of existing cars without the need to replace every car with an electric one. Critics highlight that manufacturing e-fuels is very expensive and energy intensive. Some also argue e-fuels should be reserved for hard to decarbonize sectors like shipping and aviation and not cars. Welcome back. It's time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Construction works of a mini stadium at Chautara of Sindhupalchok have remained stranded. According to the Public Construction Implementation Unit, Kavrepolanchok, construction works of the stadium have remained stranded for the past 3 months because of carelessness of the contractors. Despite the agreement for completion of the construction works within 2 years' time, Sunkoshi Jiri Construction Private Limited have not carried out any work even after 7 months of the end of the project deadline. Tournaments have also been affected as the construction materials have been left unattended at and near the ground. Moving on, Lionel Messi scored his 800th top-level goal as Argentina beat Panama 2-0 in their first match since winning the World Cup. The 35-year-old Paris Saint-Germain forward becomes the second player to reach the milestone after Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi's tally includes 672 goals over 17 seasons for Barcelona and 29 for PSG. He also has 99 international goals, with 2 coming in the World Cup final. The Argentina captain scored an 89th minute free kick at the Monumental de Núñez Stadium in Buenos Aires to add to Thiago Almada's opener 11 minutes earlier. Messi will have the opportunity to score his 100th international goal when Argentina play Curaçao on Tuesday. It is yet another milestone in an extraordinary career during which he has won almost every major trophy, including 4 Champions League, 10 La Liga titles, the Copa America and finally in December a World Cup winners' medal. Established as one of the greatest players of all time, Messi has won the Ballon d'Or, awarded to the best player of the year in European football, a record 7 times, twice more than Ronaldo. The only major competition Messi has played in but has failed to win so far is the French Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo celebrated his world record 197th men's international appearance by scoring twice as Portugal thrashed Liechtenstein in their Euro 2024 qualifying opener. The 38-year-old has now scored a men's record 120 international goals. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.